Well, hello, everybody. We're just talking about how to kill each other.
Hello. Yep.
Nothing to be afraid
Welcome to
of.
Burning Wheel.
They're all
Okay.
friends
Yes.
for now.
So did everybody have a good Halloween?
Nobody showed
Yeah,
up.
I got a total of 2 trick-or-treaters because I live not on a dead end, but I live on a road where half of them don't practice trick-or-treat, and so it might as well be like a dead-end street.
Yeah.
Right.
I haven't had trick-or-treaters in years. I'm in like an apartment complex.
That's the most people-dense place. It's the best place to trick-or-treat. Kids, what are you...
I don't
What do you
understand. Kids have, given up on trick-or-treating.
It's all the trunk or treat now. Everyone just goes into like parking lots with cars.
Yeah, it's
What?
terrible.
Really?
Oh, right, and
Yeah.
so people go to mall. It's so weird.
So I was going to go up to Ithaca. Apparently they recreated Diagon Alley,
What?
like the
Okay.
entire town. They just
Awesome.
recreated Diagon Alley.
That's
I
cool.
don't think I told you guys. So I live in Calgary, and I just found out last week they have a lock-in room.
Oh yeah?
They have one here, and it's awesome. It has
Nice.
4 different rooms. So I wanted to go for Halloween, but I'm going to see when I can go next, because it's awesome. Also, I just beat the boss in Guild Wars 2.
Congratulations.
I can dedicate myself to it, and I think I got the beat it in 20-minute achievement. So that's good, which is difficult.
Hurry
yeah,
up, it's raid night.
I'm just cutscenes playing, so I'm not actually doing anything, and then I get my treasure, and then I'm done.
Cool.
But yeah, the Guild Wars 2 expansion came out. I've been playing it for the last 9 days. It's really good. There are almost no bugs. The only real major bugs I encountered was it was in the last fight of the personal story that there were so many bugs. It took me 12 attempts to beat the final boss of that, and it should have taken me, without bugs, 3. So yeah,
Well,
that sucked. But everything else about
MMOs.
the expansion has been excellent. I don't know if any of you guys have had a chance to play it yet.
no, I've been knee-deep in replaying Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2.
Yes, I heard you mention that.
I think I finally got out of the dream state that is watching Bob Ross paint. I was in it
that's
for about
right.
a good 16 hours.
Yeah, you've
3
mentioned it.
a.m. last night, talking about Bob Ross. We saw his son, Steve Ross. He was painting. He did, more detail. It was still pretty good. I just remember watching that as a kid. I'm like,
Yeah, him and Norm. And,
where do you even... Oh, yeah, Norm. And this old
Mhm.
house and the new Yankee workshop. And
Yeah.
TBS, where have you gone?
It's just crazy.
PBS, where I watch BBC World News.
The only use I have for it anymore is when they play Sherlock. So.
Yeah.
And at Masterpiece Theater, Downton Abbey.
I can't do it. There are some levels of British drama I just cannot go to, and the yes, quite is where I draw the line.
So you're okay with a lot of doctors shows and stuff like that?
Oh yeah. And I watch Luther because Idris Elba is awesome. But
That's one I couldn't get into. But I hear it's amazing, so my loss.
Yeah. I just want
It
the
is.
real BBC. No, that's fake BBC. You need a real BBC.
yeah, it'd be nice if they offered it in this country like they do every other damn country.
Yeah, why can't we have it? We're not good enough here?
We get BBC America with
I thought I thought BBC America was improving. Like, it's not great, but it was
I
improving.
mean, it seems like every time I turn it on, it's Star Trek: The Next Generation. So,
I mean, I get that on the UPN.
So it looks like it's a bad thing as someone who's never watched Star Trek before. But still.
Yeah,
Am
I
I
mean,
still
if
on
you're a little
TeamSpeak?
kid,
I thought I closed TeamSpeak. Goodbye, TeamSpeak.
and you don't have if you don't have Netflix or like even the library now has every season of TNG on DVD.
Yeah, I think most of the Star Trek is on Netflix, unless it got removed at some point.
I know CBS released most of it for free on their website a while back. I don't know if it's still up.
Nice.
I think the original cartoon is even on Netflix, or at least it used to
Wow.
be. From like 74.
Right. All right.
Yeah, the old Star Wars or Star Trek cartoon is on Netflix still. I watched that one Saturday and was like, there are some levels I just can't sing to for long.
Did not know. Okay.
Yeah, the force field bubbles.
Well, then this is also Primark. This is American Netflix, so there could be some differences there.
There are differences. I do know that for sure.
I'm gonna have to check out some Canadian Netflix at one point.
That could be a whole new thing, Canadian Netflix and chill. Yeah.
That maple syrup gets sticky in bed. I don't know.
See, I never actually knew what that euphemism was for, and like that even was a euphemism until like a week ago. Like it's so weird as a phrase. Where did it originate from? That came to.
I would guess somewhere like Reddit.
Yeah, I don't know.
So weird.
To me, it just became part of the ether that is, euphemisms. A couple months ago.
Okay.
Anyway, we should probably play some role-playing games.
What? We're here to. Oh.
Or are we just here to talk bullshit about media?
About
That's fine. We can do that.
euphemisms?
Nah, we only need 10 minutes of bullshit.
We got like 3 hours and 50 minutes. What do you think of Babylon 5?
Yeah.
I did
Have
not
you guys
like
heard of
Babylon
the Jar
5,
Jar is a Sith Lord theory?
except for one episode. The one with the bar fight on Mars.
Babylon 5 was ahead of its time, much better than Deep Space Nine.
Well, Deep Space Nine is like a low bar.
No. Voyager's a low bar. Come on.
Voyager does not even qualify.
And don't get me started on Scott Bakula.
I never
Well,
saw any of those.
If you have never seen Quantum Leap, but yeah. All right, so let's get going.
So let's do things. Yeah.
Last time, I was on a boat the entire time, and you guys rescued
Oh no,
my
you
village.
went to an island.
Oh yeah, I went
and
to an island.
Did some stuff at an island, and you got some pretty good rolls there.
Oh yeah, I rolled really well.
Yeah, you got like an ob 8 success or something.
Yeah, it was crazy when it came to figuring out stuff about the
Yeah.
artifact.
It was actually ob 9, but yeah, who's talking?
It was actually op 9. That
It
wasn't
was.
a 10-meter high jump. That was 15-meter high jump that I did.
It was big.
I don't want to brag or nothing, but
I almost went off the chart.
You did, since I think the max exponent at least is 10.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I'm
pretty
getting
crazy.
there, getting up there.
max ob that I've seen is somewhere around in the late teens or 20. But that's
Wow,
Yeah.
that's not physically possible unless you have like a bunch of people helping you.
Well,
a
you're
bunch
supposed to
of
use
forks
deed
and a bunch of
points
people helping.
to double your
exactly.
dice pool with
Well,
deeds.
forks helps as well. You're totally right. Does help well, I think it's just help, not forking. Ever give you more than 2 dice?
Yes.
It can give you 2 dice.
if
Can
you
it
have
give you
more
higher?
than 5 or 7, in the
I think it
X1.
was 7,
You give
if I remember.
Nah,
2.
yeah, 5 gives you 2, 7 and a fork gives you 2 as well.
Right. Wait. Yeah, fork can be more than 1 if it's like
Fork can be
ridiculously
one, which is
high.
very high.
Yeah,
Okay.
7 or higher gives you 2 extra dice with a fork.
Cool.
I thought they were the same. Okay. But yeah, if you need more than 2 dice, you need people to help you.
So anyway, let's run into the recap here.
Let's go. What happened?
All right. Last time on Burning Wheel, war comes to the shores of Terminugnia. Matron Season and Ernest Buck set sail for Polyoborat with a battalion of soldiers from the famed mercenary group, the Swords of the Phoenix. Once they arrived, the dashing duo set to work planning the assault to take back Pathaskew from the forces of Duchess Ortova. Ernest led a company of heavy foot soldiers through the mountains while Matron sailed the rest of their strike force up the river to the south of the city. With expert timing and precision, Ernest and the elite guard managed to distract the occupying forces while Matron ordered the attack and led a group of skilled soldiers into the city. The daring privateer used his cat-like speed and reflexes to scale the council tower and took the leaders of the Bryansk army by surprise. Without the leaders to issue the orders, the army quickly fell to the oncoming forces led by our daring heroes. Meanwhile, across the blue waters of the archipelago, Lord Edwin Whalefson devoted his time to studying the recovered artifact, the body of Keeldon. Assisted by several researchers from the organization, Edwin attempted to decipher the mysterious sigils inscribed on the staff. However, the true meaning of the symbols proved to be elusive. Our artful archaeologist was not dissuaded by this small setback and redoubled his efforts upon reaching an organization research facility hidden on an undisclosed island. I need to make these sentences shorter. These are killing me. Edwin put the ample resources of the facility to use, researching the artifact and making some startling discoveries. The body of Keeldon appears to be incomplete, and without the other piece, our intrepid investigator cannot hope to control the awesome power contained within the artifact. Luckily, the savvy scholar learned that the staff may be able to guide him to the all-important second piece of the fabled relic. Can Matron and Ernest lead their forces to the door of the Duchess of Bryansk and end the aggression on Pathaskew? Will Edwin discover the location of the rest of the artifact? The answers to these questions and more in mere moments as we bring the next exciting installments of Mathsquad's Burning Wheel, Legend of the Seaward Isles.
Nice.
So
The C word's Isles now.
I'm going to change it every week.
Nice. Nice.
This is awesome, man.
All right, what do we got for bits?
who would like to go first?
Yeah. Well, I changed my beliefs. I'm kind of not sure about an instinct, maybe, but we'll see. But I can go first if you want.
Sure.
Cool. So, my first new belief is Pathaskew was a good step to help the organization's mission. Now we must prepare for Bryansk proper. So I guess there's just sort of like getting ready for moving on to invasion and stuff.
In defense to attack, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you change the wording on that just a touch to like, I will ensure we are prepared for to assault Bryansk or something.
Okay.
I think that would make it a personable thing.
Right, because right now
we must prepare is just, you know.
Right, and it's very we, not I. There's no. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
So
got to
that
challenge
way
them
when,
some way.
Yeah.
of course I am.
Okay. My second belief is Ernest seems to know his way around soldiering. Continentals know at least one thing, I guess. I will see if he's worthwhile at anything else. So, that's mainly just, let's see if I can engage Ernest with something.
Yeah, let's see if, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then
Let's see if I'm not
here's
completely single-minded.
my third belief, which I think is the clincher for this session. Pathaskew could have helped us take back the city, but they didn't. The spoils of war are now due to me and mine, and we will take it.
Yeah, because the generals decided to adopt a
Yeah.
wait-and-see approach.
Yeah. And I was like, if you don't, we will take it. That is what I plan on doing. For
That's
both
what
me
you're
and all the soldiers. That's what me and mine means, right? Like, I'm going to say, everyone is do their part. Let's loot the whole place.
Yeah, your whole crew. Let's go get some.
Yeah, everyone I
Sounds
like.
fair. And you're leading an army of mercenaries, so like I'm sure they'll be behind that.
Yeah.
exactly.
My instincts are still the same. Never engage in a fair fight. If my crew or boat is in danger, drop everything and help. And the sea is life. When someone insults the sea, I insult them.
The
Which
sea is smelly.
I don't know. What?
The sea is smelly. It smells bad, like dead
That's
fish
true.
and salt.
No, you are.
Yeah, your face is smelly.
Pretty good. All
I
right.
am doesn't.
Yeah. And I guess I have the following character traits. Problem with authority. Predatory. Smells of the sea. Huh. I guess I just didn't notice. Calloused. Wanderlust. I have the following die trait. Affinity for rope. And the following call-on traits. Sea legs. Iron stomach. And dexterity of the cat.
I do have one question. Does Matrim, is he into shibari? Is that something he's good he does in his spare time? It's Japanese rope bondage.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't know what ethnicity Matron is.
I think Matron's I think Matron's private time is Matron's private time, and we'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Sounds fair to me.
Guess I could go next.
Sure.
I'm done playing video games for now. I finished everything.
Is that one of your beliefs? Finish the video games?
My belief is to finish all video games.
There we go. All of them. Wow.
It's
All
automatically
video
accomplished because I don't think we have any in the world, so
Exactly.
just take a Persona now.
So yeah, Ernest's first belief is after recovering from my ailment here, I consider the Path Askew my new home. I will do everything I can to aid in its recovery. I have fully recovered from my affliction. I will prove it to myself by leading these soldiers to victory against Briansk. The Duchess of Briansk may be the enemy, but she is still just a child. I will make sure that she is not killed or unduly harmed. And then my fourth belief, I changed it, even though it is my loyalty belief, because I'm simply detailing my loyalty belief. It's still the same principle and philosophy. Lord Edwayne said to keep his cousin safe and out of trouble, and that's what I intend to do. My instincts are, always use violence or the threat of it to get what I want, always maintain my arms and armor, and whenever I have free time, practice fighting with my mace. My traits...
As a follow-up to that,
Yes.
in Skype we were talking a little bit about practice tests and stuff.
Yes, I did not yet.
And so based on that instinct, I'm not sure what anything needs to be logged or
So I'm gonna
keeping
log
track of
practice
that.
with my mace, but you said I believe Zen, and we haven't actually put this in on the show, but it has been a total of about 6 weeks since we got the artifact out of the ruin.
Yeah,
correct?
you've had 7 weeks of quote unquote downtime.
Okay.
So 2 months and a week.
Okay. Then give me a sec in the background. I will practice my mace skill. I'm just going to figure out what type of tests.
A month is
I've
3
had time.
weeks?
A month is 4 weeks, so if it's been 7 weeks, we've had almost
a month
2
and a half.
months. Yeah.
Oh wait, did I miscount? Hang on, I wrote it all down. It comes out to 2 months and 1 week.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
may have
okay.
9
misspelled it, 7
weeks,
weeks.
not 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Well, that would be 2 months and 11 days.
And I don't have that much downtime.
Of practice, because I'm including the practice from beforehand. And so I need, let me check. I'm pretty sure I need 3 difficult and 1 challenging for my mace. If it has been over 2 months, then I can spend those 2 months getting my mace up to 6. For sure. I'm just checking what the hours per day for a challenging is, because that is
probably 8.
Probably
I
8.
thought we already did the vast majority of the downtime practice log stuff.
I think I've only done practice logs so far. For a while, I was recovering.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
never
my fault.
spent any of that
We didn't go
downtime.
back. We didn't go back to it when we should have. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It was 2 weeks from Tirmanugnia to Dovan. Oh no, wait, sorry,
It
I'm
was
ahead of
4
myself.
weeks.
It was 2 weeks from the artifact ruins to Polyborod. So
Okay.
getting the artifact there. 4 weeks from Polyborod to Dovan.
Okay.
2 weeks back because there was better weather.
And a week
then-
getting ready.
And another week planning and battling.
So it was over 2 months.
Yes.
Let me check this handout, and in the background,
So yeah, go ahead and log 2 months worth. Don't count that last week because your planning and battling took up most of that time, most of that week. So.
I thought it might have.
Though he has an instinct for maze practice.
Yeah. So
I'll do it.
Track that for your.
The thing is that my mace skill is so high that 1 hour a day of practice doesn't do anything, because that would be just a routine test, and I don't even need routine tests to advance my mace skill. So I probably practice out of habit, but I probably don't improve through that practice.
Now you can log increments, right?
But I think for practice rather, don't you have to improve like certain hours per day for a certain number of days? And so practicing 1 hour for 4 months is not the same as practicing 4 hours for 1 month, I thought.
From my understanding of practice, the days don't need to be continuous, but I'm not sure about the hours per day. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I need to go find... Hold on. Skill groups, that's what I'm looking for. I was looking at the handouts in Roll20, but we're looking at a spreadsheet outside of Roll20. That's what we need. There we go. Martial skill for a challenging test is 8 hours a day. I can totally do 8 hours a day during all of the time we were walking, and I can totally do 4 hours a day easily for that. So I will mark a challenging and a difficult test, making my mace skill go up to 6. Let me triple check that. Where are you? Close that.
Fighting in a war is good for training. Your fighting skill.
Yeah, the only relevant language I can find is anytime a player indicates some action for his character that is cool but otherwise has no direct effect on driving the game forward, the in-game time should be logged toward practice for the applicable abilities.
Yeah.
That's
now
cool.
that doesn't say that you have to do it. You have to do your 8 hours a day. Well, actually, no. Hours per day to earn a test is 8 hours for challenging.
Yeah.
So, or that's for academic.
Yeah. So I'm going to move my mace skill up to 6, and with means all of these reset in terms of the number of tests I did, and I only have basically I have no practice on my mace because I have 4 days of 1 hour per day practice, which doesn't amount to anything. So no mace practice that counts as of yet.
Right.
Cool.
Most of my practice is going to be in academic skills, which take 6 months. But I would like to do some training in my social skills.
Yeah.
So I have oratory,
those
falsehood, and rhetoric. Is it reasonable to train those skills on the boat or not?
Yeah.
I just want to check. You can train for a number of hours, practice for a number of hours per day equal to your will times 3 or your will times 2?
Times 3.
Times 3, okay. Cool.
Or 20, whichever's lower.
So I had 6 weeks.
Yeah, up to 20.
What type of skill is a wise?
So this is
Those are
That's
special.
a special
Wonderful.
skill.
Okay.
2 week, 3 week.
Also, power. The power stat has a 1 month turnaround for training.
Yes,
Just
it
to put
does.
that out there. So it could be you might be able to log.
My power's already 6. I think I'm going to work on my health, because that's sort of a big thing for Ernest.
Yeah.
If I can practice health, that is.
You got to practice the base stats for it.
Will and fort. Will has a practice cycle of like a year, so I'm going to practice. I'm going to practice force, which is 1 month.
2 months.
2 months, yes. So
Yeah.
1 test for this.
Wow.
4 hours per day.
Challenging practice test for Fort is 16 hours.
10 hours.
Oh.
Yeah, you almost
Yeah.
can't practice that unless you've got a really high will.
Yeah. It's already as difficult because you also need 16 hours per day to practice will. So you already need to have high will in order to keep practicing will. Most of that stuff will be in-game. Okay. So Fort, I can't work for 8 hours a day because I'm already doing 8 hours on Mace for some of it. It's 2 months. I'm gonna do some math. Golden, you haven't you haven't told us about your bits.
Sure, hold on. I need to figure out 2 more hours of downtime. I'll just mark it down and then to figure out 2 more hours of downtime.
Primeric, I interrupted you before you said your traits.
You are correct. Let me grab those.
Sorry.
So, that's fine. My traits are... I have a bunch of traits. My character traits are loyal to Edwin Whalefson, Golden's character. I am vindictive. I am stoic. And the 2 cultural traits I have from being from the continent are imperious and close-minded. I have I have my die traits, which are light sleeper, stubborn, broken, and sickly. And I have 1 call-on trait, back-breaking labor. I am always heavily armored. Almost always. Yeah.
Nice.
It's got to cause some odd calluses in odd places.
My beliefs are going to be mostly the same as last time, except I updated 1 belief. Because I feel like Edwin's learned a lot about the people he's working with. His belief is still the conspiracy is a group of brigands and thieves and must be rooted out of the islands. Now it's, I must identify the leadership of the organization. So it feels really suspicious to him that none of the smart, intelligent people he's been working with seem to have any interaction with the leadership or ability to choose what the organization is doing. So he's got to figure out who is actually leading this thing. Second belief is the same as last time. The Cold War should start between Halfwind and Lesgorod, or not Lesgorod. Yes, Lesgorod. So I must convince the organization to make it appear that both our counties have artifacts. I also probably have to convince Lesgorod, but since some of their leadership is in my relationships, that shouldn't be the hard part. Then my final belief.
Does Lesgorod have ties to the continent somehow?
My intent when I talk to them is to try and get them to make ties to the continent.
Okay.
Like, that would be my plan as I would, when I ever actually get to talk to my relationships. Like, we have this organization and you guys should try and get aid from the continent, and then we're going to start wearing out the continent early before they're ready to start the invasion. Then the third belief is, if Maud were here, she would have my back, so she's not. But she's not. So I must gather what allies I have. And that's kind of hard to do where I am now. But
well, I mean, you're actually.
So I guess what's the intent then behind that last belief?
Well, I just want to see Edwin's relationships, and I want,
You can call on them at any point in time. That's your bag, man. That's
Right.
relationships are there for you to call on.
So I'm going to be trying to do that this session. I know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to try and convince the organization to take me to that island I have a reputation on. I want them to spread rumors that I am gathering forces on that island to get on Fengqing to try and take back my home city and get revenge on whatever happened there. So hopefully I can go there, or I can just say I'm going there. And that's also like, I'm trying to like spread misinformation about where I am, because I don't want people to get suspicious about why I've disappeared for a month, 2 months.
So it sounds like you want Edwin to have some sort of like conflict between his loyalty to his island or his country and his loyalty to whatever the artifact is doing.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I'm not sure if that could be better expressed.
So here's my thoughts. Like,
maybe? I don't know.
Does
that make sense?
I would like for the rest of the artifact to be somewhere dangerous, so that it makes sense for me to get Matron and Ernest and go get it. If it is just like a mile away and we can pick it up on the way home, then sure, we'll do that instead. But I don't think that's very likely. I think it's pretty dangerous wherever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's not quite what I was alluding to, but okay.
Okay, my instincts, I still have behaved in a sane and rational manner. I still have always find a use for a good man. And now I've found all these researchers, and they've kind of proven that their philosophy is basically good, and they're good people. So, like, Edwin, like, just tries to be friends with them. Like, they're already part of this organization. And even if the goals of the organization, like, if their ultimate purpose is sinister, like, their immediate actions are good. So, I'm not going to take them out of the organization at this point. And then my final instinct is get information from home. And we were kind of talking, like, right now is going to be a month before Edwin gets any information. So we were talking about maybe there is some kind of magical communication in this world, but we're not sure yet. And in any case, if Edwin gets to go closer to home, then he'll get his news a lot quicker. My traits, I have Mark of Privilege. Edwin is always networking with other nobles. You have your lordship, because he has the right to it, and he just acts like he's a lord all the time. Superstitious, Edwin believes in the supernatural. Know-it-all. Stubborn, impetuous, prestige seeker, and aloof.
Okay. Sith brought up a good point to me. If you were to word your beliefs a little bit better, you could possibly set yourself up for Moldbreaker between going for the artifact and saving your island.
Could be.
I mean, Sith can elaborate better on that than I can, I think. But
right. It seems like when you talk about Edwin, you have these two different interests, right? You want to discover and learn more and get the rest of the artifact. But you're also trying to set up all these political motions and get everything ready for your island or your country. I'm not sure which.
Right.
Ready for war, and then you're trying to set up other things. And so these can be at odds at each other because you can't be at both places at once. And so if you have conflicting beliefs, then that sort of sets up a possible scene where Moldbreaker might happen. Whereas right now, I don't think you have expressed beliefs that could address that.
I feel like I don't have enough belief slots, to be honest, and I'm just picking like the things I actually think he believes the most strongly in. Like, reclaiming the artifact immediately. Like, he doesn't have a belief for that. Like, I don't think that is... Now, there's plenty I want to do before Edwin tries to grab and complete the artifact.
Well, right, because, like, I guess with beliefs, right, like, these aren't the only 3 beliefs Edwin or Matrim has, but these might be the most pressing ones you want to address this session.
Right.
Yeah, it's not even what they believe the most strongly, it's what you think will come into play.
Yeah, the most relevant for the session.
Well, I think of it as, these are the beliefs I want to highlight right now.
Yeah, if this was a TV show, beliefs are not quite like, but similar to sort of the last time flashbacks thing. It's like they highlight certain things that aren't everything but a character in the beginning scene. But by doing that, you know that that's what will come into play. That'll come back to matter in this episode. I guess it's like that.
And I definitely agree, like, I could set up 2 beliefs in hard conflict, and then I would have to go against one of them. But I feel like Edwin's beliefs are really pushing him towards a certain action right now.
Okay.
And that action is to return to his island.
I definitely heard there was some sort of conflict there, but I didn't
think
quite hear it in
the
their
conflict
beliefs.
would be with, like, his, with one of his traits he doesn't have yet, like the entrepreneurial trait or the mercenary trait, where he wants to keep making money off the organization, but that doesn't seem belief-worthy.
Okay. I have not picked that up from Lord Edwin at all. So
Right. It's not time for that yet.
it's kind of news to me.
Yeah, it's not time for that yet.
Okay.
And I wouldn't want to introduce that belief now and then go against it and try and get Modebreaker out of it. So, yeah. Eventually, yeah. I agree.
I don't understand that, but okay.
We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah.
That's usually how it works. Cool.
That's the fun part.
So I think, if we're ready to begin, that Ernest had, I think, do we just zoom in on the night the city is taken? Because I think Ernest plans to do, like, literally as soon as he knows the city's, the battle's over, he wants to, like, get on it.
Okay, I do have one thing before we jump into it. Small cutscene, but all right. So camera fades in. We see everything, but there's no sound at the moment. We see Edwin walking down a long hall with the staff of the body of Gildan in his hand. You can see like beads of sweat on his brow and dark wet stains around his neck and like down his back and under his arms. It's a stone hallway. It's like old and dusty, and there's like cobwebs hanging from the corners, and there's dust motes like floating around all the torches that line the hall. And suddenly there's a very loud crash, like a metal door being slammed shut from behind Edwin, and his head spins around, and he sees the torches behind him guttering out one by one. And as the darkness rushes up behind him, Edwin begins to run forward, like desperately trying to stay within the light of the torches. As he moves down the hallway, we see Edwin's breath begin to mist from his mouth, and the dark wet stains on his clothes start to turn white with frost. At the end of the hallway lies a large stone door marked with a carving of a crown encircled in an unknown flowing script. With the darkness bearing down on him, Edwin pushes the door open, steps inside, and slams the stone closed behind him. Inside the room, there's an eerie blue light that's illuminating what appears to be the back of a throne, sitting at like the center of a very cavernous room. Edwin moves around the stone chair to like see what's in the front of the throne, and we see a skeleton sitting seated there. In its hands is a dark round stone with shallow channels carved into it in a winding pattern, sort of like, I don't know if you've ever seen like the impressions that worms make when they go through dirt. It's just sort of that like winding path. So as Edwin bends down to inspect the stone, the skeleton's hand shoots up and grabs his shirt and pulls him down. The bony mouth begins to open and screeches in his face, "Body and mind be one." The scene shifts as Edwin bolts upright in his bed, sweat just pouring off of him. As he breathes heavily, trying to recover from the nightmare, we see in the background the staff resting on the dresser, light slowly fading from the sigils inscribed on it.
Oh boy, this is bad.
Okay.
Is this?
I guess we'll start on Edwin because he's
sure
just woken up from
experience.
Is this like the morning after the party?
Yeah, probably.
All right. Because I intended for Edwin to like do something in the morning.
Okay.
Like he tried to wake up before anybody else woke up, and I guess this is what wakes him up.
Yeah, I guess this is why.
Like he's probably shaking, and like, is there any like ice in the bed with him?
No, but the bed is like
Soaked?
just slick with sweat. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Edwin is like maybe gets up and maybe sobs a little, and cleans himself off. Like Edwin has just been feeling like really isolated. Like all these weeks, he's like been nervous because he's not sure about the people he's with, and even now that like he thinks he might be able to trust them, like he just feels like incredibly lonely. There's nobody here that knows who he is and how he feels. Is Grenda here on the island? Is Yak?
She would have been on the boat with you. Did you take her with you?
Yeah.
Then yes, she's here.
All right. So like,
she's in the corner chewing on cud, and there's a big pile you need to clean up. No. She's probably like out in some stable areas.
All right.
Yeah.
Edwin's like, he needs to like just get some free time, but he also knows that like this is his only opportunity to do some research without anybody looking after him. So he gets dressed and tries to like clean off as much of the sweat as he can. And then he goes looking for some information. So here's Edwin's theory. Edwin's thought process is that this is a storehouse of knowledge made by the organization. And there might actually be some information on the organization here. They seem to have like kept it mostly secret, but there might be two avenues of research that they haven't completely covered up. The first one is that the organization seems to be very wealthy. It seems like they probably needed the wealth of many countries or many rich merchants in order to get started. And if you can like find information about maybe like information the organization wouldn't have unless it was specifically interested in these people, that might be something. And the other line of research he has is that the people he talked with before indicated that the organization saw what happened on the continent. And clearly some of them were actually Continentals, because Ernest is a Continental and his cousin is a Continental. So he suspects that either the organization grew out of a secret spy organization that was trying to learn about the continent, or that the organization is actually a faction of Continentals that were ousted from the political power when the revolution happened. So these are the two like lines of research open to Edwin that there might be information here about. So he's going to try and, like, while everyone's asleep, try and find if there are some, like, section on those two that maybe have been forgotten about, or maybe they're locked away or forbidden somehow.
Okay. Your first avenue there, I don't think there'd be much, because if there's people that the organization was interested in, they would want to hide those identities as much as possible.
Right. I mean, they're obviously going to hide this information as best they can, but, like, that takes money to hide. You know what I'm saying? Like, when they were getting started, they didn't have this massive conspiracy going where they could destroy all their information. There was still in records somewhere until they, like, got their act together and started covering up properly.
Right. Yeah. How do you intend on looking into this?
Well, I was hoping I could use my research skill and see if there's any, like, books or scrolls, like, if there's any sections about this kind of thing, like, maybe, like, sections that aren't marked on, like, the map or aren't in, like, the card catalog. Like, you go over there and see what's actually there.
All right. Let me check something real quick here.
Sure.
The ops for research aren't entirely. I mean, they are helpful in one very narrow view of research.
Right.
But
I was thinking you could also say it's obscure history with a fork in research.
That's just listed under history, right?
Yeah.
Just a type of history.
To me, this seems like an odd way of doing, like, administration or accounting, like, or maybe like estate management, like reading the books type thing. Yeah.
I mean, do I actually find? See, first I have to find the stuff before I can do the accounting, though. Like, even if the role is just to, like, find the books he needs to research or study more, like, I don't think he has time to actually, pour through a lot of books before everyone wakes up and wonders where he is.
Well, the way you described, like, looking at, like, their card catalog versus then looking at all the different shelves, like, that would be some time as well. Like,
oh yeah, it's definitely gonna be time.
So
yeah, but he can make the test and, like, it just, the results will happen later. It's that test over time thing. You just make the roll, and as time progresses, you get closer to getting the resolution for it.
It's like not like Edwin has to disappear for that whole period either.
Yeah, he could just be doing it like 1 or 2 hours every day in the morning when everyone's asleep.
Right.
Well, I guess since we're so curious, I guess my question then would be, could you reiterate the intent?
The intent is to get information about the origins of the organization. And specifically, like, who would have been the first leaders of the organization? Where did they come from?
I don't know if that...
Yeah, I don't know if that's specifically possible here.
But the best thing you could probably do is
I mean, if I
learn a
find
little
out
and
that
then
it's not
learn where to look.
possible, that's something to learn.
Yeah, it's probably like a learn where to look type of thing. It's
Sure.
like, yeah, that's probably the best scenario.
Yeah, I'd probably have to say Ob 6 history.
Okay.
And if you're successful on it, you're not going to get much.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, it's all super obscure.
Like you'll get some, you'll get a feeling on where to go next for more information, probably, rather than actual information.
Let's see what I can fork into that. So, obscure history. Reading? Research?
Reading, and research. Yeah, if you're doing this on the research boat, right?
No, I'm doing this
he's
on
at
the
the
island.
research
On the
facility.
island, yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, not the boat, but even better research facility than the boat. That makes sense then.
I have a lot of persona.
You can spend up to 3 in a roll. So if you want to...
How much have I already put into obscure history? Nothing, huh?
And I will also say that failure in this might not be great for you.
No.
Failure
probably
get
probably something, yeah.
I'm hoping
probably something along the lines of getting.
Okay. I'll spend 1 persona on this. And I hope I get some 6s.
Is it working?
Come on, dice. Ooh, I got
did get a 6.
I got 2 6s.
50% chance.
All right.
Just one 6.
What?
Yeah, just 1 6.
I see 2.
I see 1 3 5 5 6 5.
Yep.
Oh my god. It's trolling me. My screen literally shows 2 6s. Alright.
Oh, the 3D dice. Those 2 6s, you mean? Okay.
Alright. I'm gonna spend my fate. Come on.
Yeah.
No!
Oh, nope.
Ah. So you only failed by 1, so it might not be you get caught and killed or something.
All right, so yeah, Edwin's been studying this stuff for, goes down and starts rifling through the card catalog, finds some sort of relevant things on like the history of counterculture and stuff like that, and begins pouring through them. And as he's like enveloped in reading through these tomes, one of the research assistants like just stumbles through. He's got like a cup of coffee in his hand, and he looks over and just kind of nods at you.
Mm-hmm.
But then he looks at like the titles of the books you're reading, and kind of gets a suspicious look on his face, and he turns around and leaves the room.
I call out to him, say, wait.
He just keeps walking. Like his pace quickens a little bit. And later that day, a couple of the guards that came with you, kind of corner you while you're doing other things.
Sure.
And they begin asking you, why were you looking through these books? Like that has nothing to do with why you're here.
I'm curious. I thought we were allies now.
Allies were, yes, but you're here for a purpose.
Am I not doing that purpose?
Not when you're combing through books that are irrelevant.
I get this frustrated expression on my face, and like I'm here to help, but that doesn't mean like everything else that's on my mind has stopped. Like, I have questions, and you guys can't help answer those questions. Do you really think
He
that
says that.
if you tried to prevent me from doing anything but working on this one project, that would improve my quality of work?
They say that they're not trying to prevent you from doing anything. It's really for your own safety.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they tell you that, you know, we assume that we know the reason you're looking through this stuff. You're curious about, you know, those above us.
Yes. Aren't you?
Well, we
Wouldn't
were.
you like to know?
I mean, there have been several instances of people trying to find out more about, you know, the those that are on the higher echelons. Those people tend to disappear.
You're saying that the organization will kill me if I continue this line of research.
The guard looks at you and he's like, I'm not saying anything. All I'm saying is better to be careful.
All right. Well, I'm like, listen, I'm giving my good faith effort here in trying to make this alliance work. But I need to know, just to satisfy my own curiosity, what's going on here. If you want to report this, and there's some other way I need to prove my loyalty, then let's do that.
He says, you know, it's all, it's part of the package that people become curious about this stuff. I mean, we've dealt with this with the other researchers.
Yeah, he nods.
But we know there are certain sections of this group that are dedicated to keeping their secrets secret. We've only heard whispers of them, and those whispers say that if you ever meet them, they're probably the last people you're going to see. And he leaves it at that.
Okay. I think that really deters Edwin. Clearly these guys are suspicious, but he still needs to know this, and they still have to expect that he would need to know this. I guess Edwin would continue to try and not bring attention to his research, but he'd still do it as long as he's on the island. But he won't try and take any of the information from the island like he would have otherwise. So I guess how long are we on the island?
Probably not much longer.
Okay.
You have received word of Pathasku's recent liberation.
Oh, excellent.
So,
all right. Edwin wouldn't want
What is your reaction to that, by the way?
Well, he's extremely pleased. He's like,
are you trying to get back there? Are you,
Edwin knows that their next course of action is to attack Bryanx, right? Do they tell him?
Actually, I don't think he does. No.
I seem to remember them saying something like, it was their intention to do more than just retake Pathasku.
That's true. Yeah, you could infer that they're going after Bryansk, but I don't think it was ever specifically mentioned.
I can infer that the war is not over.
Yeah.
And Edwin would definitely want
that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So Edwin would definitely want to get back. So he tells the the other researchers, like, this is probably what he's been doing, like, during the whole day, where... Hold on. This is probably what he's been doing for the rest of the day, instead of, like, his secret research project. He's told them that he wants them to gather, like, whatever information they have about dreams. He says that, and about the northern part of the archipelago. Like, he says these two things, like, these are the things we have to research next. We're probably not going to go straight for the artifact. I think it's going to be dangerous. But we'll need to understand more. And I'll explain more about why these subjects are important once we're on the ship.
Okay.
Can I make a link test? To, like,
with what in?
I want to get the information on the boat so we can research, like, the dreams Edwin's have been having.
Well, how would you? What test would you like that to be? Give me a. What is your intent and task?
I mean, I guess I just want to get research, so, like, I want to have the raw materials that we need to answer these questions.
Okay.
I want to make sure that. Okay, then that's just what we do.
I don't think you need to roll for that. They're just gonna get whatever relevant materials they have, and
right. I feel like we're not there long enough to actually do the research on those subjects. So
okay,
they spend gather the information we need.
Yeah, they spend like 2 days combing the stacks and getting ready to head back out.
And Wade probably spends, like, the last day, like, alone on the island with Grenda, just, like, taking a break and getting his mind focused.
Okay. Just sitting there petting your ox.
Yeah.
Being pals.
We have a picnic. We go on the cliff and you see the sea.
Edwin sitting next to the ox, who's also, like, sitting down on her back legs, and there's the sun dropping down in the background as they're sitting on a hill.
Yeah, exactly. That have, like, the tanning pads out in front of them.
You just as we fade down.
Yeah.
Right.
I love you, Grenda.
Give it a big hug around its neck. Like, you're my only friend that I have left.
All right, and on that, I think we'll go to break, and we'll pick it back up with
what's going on in the Path of Skew.
Yep.
What is going on? Is there anything left to return to? I don't know.
Well, we'll find out.
We shall find out after this commercial break. Nerps. You like Nerps? Nerps are high in protein, low in calories.
Buy Nerps.
Tastes great, less filling.
It's Adam's birthday.
Buy Nerps today!
It's Adam's birthday. You have to go buy his Nerps. All the Nerps.
Yes. He apparently, I was looking at chat, so he had he started his birthday stream and had a $1,000 donation thing going on. Like a goal to get him to a gamer convention. Got it in 18 minutes, according to chat.
18 minutes?
$1,000 in 18 minutes out of his 12-hour stream. Now he's up to like $1,600.
Nice.
He should have set that goal higher, man.
Apparently. Oh, well, I'm sorry, that gamer convention? Yeah, airplane prices are really high right now. I'm going to need about $5,500.
I mean...
He'll still get it in an hour.
I could go there. Like, if you do that kind of shit, though,
that's
like, it's harder to get your other wants, like, maybe there's a convention in a couple weeks Adam wants to go to. Like, I know that I've talked to some of the guys in England that would love Adam to attend the convention so they could meet him. And they're talking about getting money together for that, so.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Are we on break right now? Or
no, we're not. So we're just bullshit. So we'll go on break. I want to see if there's any food, so.
Same here. and water.
I was just delivered cupcakes, so.
Oh,
I'm
you
all
lucky bastard!
set.
I got delivered trick
Halloween
or treating
cupcakes,
candy.
or yeah,
Not Halloween cupcakes, but any cupcake is a good cupcake. It really
true.
is.
All right, we'll be back.
Okay.